Hey, you're looking good today. This is Frank in the Brazil Times newsroom, and here's what's in today's edition of the Brazil Times. Well, the Northview Knights went up against Crispus Attucks in regional play Saturday. It did not end well for the Knights, and you can read all about that regional action on our sports page 6 today. More people are becoming victims of what is being called the jail and bail scam in the Wabash Valley. Most victims are the elderly, according to Sergeant Joe Watts of the Indiana State Police. Clay County Sheriff Paul Hardin said Friday local people have also been approached, though not in the past week. Recently, 2 Sullivan residents lost a total of $26,000. One gave the criminals $16,000 and the other gave $10,000. In both cases, the targeted elderly victims were called and told that a grandson had just been jailed and needed a cash bond, Watts stated. And I've taken calls here at the Brazil Times that were similar to this, and elderly people said, I didn't fall for it, but people need to know about it. Well, now we know, and you can read more about what Sheriff Hardin and Sergeant Watts had to say in this morning's edition of the Brazil Times, as well as online. There was a large crowd that turned out for the Clay County Soil and Water Conservation District meeting on Thursday. The keynote speaker was Dr. Fred Whitford of Purdue University, and we have a picture of him shaking hands with Matt Mace at the 66th annual meeting of the Clay County Soil and Water Conservation District. Hey, Lori Brown's here. Glad to see you today, Lori. Women of all ages showed up to learn how to protect themselves at a self-defense workshop Thursday. That was at the Clay County YMCA's community room. Instructor Jeff Lee of Toccoa Security and Consulting of Terre Haute taught basic defense techniques during the hour-long class. And the town of Clay City will have to pay back taxes on its water utility to the tune of a guesstimated $27,000, Attorney Chris Gamble told the town council last Tuesday night. In 2008, the town stopped paying the utilities receipt tax to the Indiana Department of Revenue. The tax is not billed because it is considered a self-regulating tax, Gamble said. And you can read more about that. Now, Marvin Cheek is here. Hey, Marvin, good to see you today. You need to be aware that even though, as I'm talking to you live and recording this at the same time, we don't have any snow in Brazil, at least none that we can see falling. But you need to know if you're going to be traveling to Indianapolis or other parts of Indiana today that there is some concern about the roads. Preparations for winter weather expected to continue in Indiana today. The Indiana Department of Transportation reminds motorists to be cautious if traveling in what could be hazardous conditions. INDOT is monitoring several weather forecasts, and information from the National Weather Service on Saturday predicted snow ranging between wintry mix in southern Indiana and up to 8 inches in northwest Indiana. About half of Indiana's 92 counties were under a winter weather advisory, mainly in northern and central Indiana. So as we have been looking at the weather today, we see that indeed is the case. And here they're saying in Clay County we could get 1 to 3 inches, which of course could make traffic kind of dicey. In today's edition of the Brazil Times, there was a Ties and Tiaras program that took place. That was at Grace Chapel Ministries on Saturday night. We have a few pictures in there. Basically, it was a daughter and daddy dance, and we have several cute pictures of the little girls with their dads for you to look at. And there are even more pictures online at www.thebraziltimes.com. Okay, let's see what else is going on. On the opinion page, I have a column about the Delphi murders, and they do indeed remind us to be careful. Very serious stuff. You know, those are not the first murders to take place on an isolated trail. And we'll tell you more about that in my column today as well. Linda Messmer, the mesmerizing Linda Messmer, asks the question, how do others see us? Do you ever wonder how other people see you? We each have our own self-perception, and we assume that others see us as we see ourselves, but that's not always true, she writes. She says, I get motion sickness, mostly in cars, but sometimes when flying. Several years ago, my husband and I flew to Cheney, Washington to visit some friends. I knew it would be a long trip, so I wore comfortable clothes, jeans, tennis shoes, and a hoodie. It was not a direct flight, so we had a layover. While waiting to board this connecting flight, a fellow traveler became very noticeable to us. All the other passengers were sitting around reading, eating, or talking quietly. This guy was by the windows facing the tarmac. He walked back and forth, talking on his cell phone very loudly so everyone could hear him. Wearing a suit and tie, you could tell this man thought he was a very important person. And you can find out how that story ends by reading Linda's column. Yeah, I know that's mean, but it is what we call a tease. Got to check out, we have our look back today, too. We're looking back to that wonderful year of 1975, which many of us will be able to remember. Find out what's going on in Clay County back in 75. And on the family circus, what's the little girl's name? Is it Dolly? I think it's Dolly. Anyway, the little girl says, I don't think Mommy would mind if you wanted to spoil us, Grandma. And, of course, Grandma smiles, and Grandmas like to do that. We're getting ready to have our 8th grandchild. You think my kid's mom isn't excited about that? 8, number 8. I know, I don't look that old, do I? No, but that's the way it is. And we have that story that I mentioned at the top of this newscast about Crispus Attucks defeating Northview on Saturday. And that score was 70-52. But hey, guys, you had a good season. You did a great job. You got your sectional title. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing. We have national news, world news, and our Clay County Planner. So if you want to know what you can do, just be sure and check out our Clay County Planner. For example, there's a weather spotting class coming up. Bee Ridge Church is hosting a breakfast to raise money to build their new building. The library is hosting a Tai Chi class. You see, there's just so many things going on. Oh, hey, this is important. This is important. Inside today's edition of the Brazil Times on page 11, you've got your tournament bracket. Do you have your winner picked yet? See if you are the person who can beat the odds and have a perfect bracket this year. I think that, what was it, 1 in 1 quintillion? Those are the odds of having a perfect bracket. Amazing. Somebody might do it, though. But if you fill out the grid that's in today's edition with your chosen winners and bring or send them to the Brazil Times office at 100 North Meridian Street in Brazil, you could win $50. And the rest of the instructions are on that page. That's page 11 in today's edition of the Brazil Times. And we have our classified ads as well. It's amazing. A lot of people like to look at those classified ads, find out what people are wanting to buy and what they're wanting to sell. So, a lot more for you on our website. Remember, that's updated 24/7 at thebraziltimes.com. I'm Frank Phillips in the Brazil Times newsroom, and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.